Lately, there has been a lot of people looking to get attention in the gaming industry by trying to mention Gamergate. People like Anita Sarkeesian and Brianna Wu always do that type of stuff, but they've been doing it quite a lot more than usual lately. There is a Gamergate movie in the works because apparently a situation from 6, almost 7 years ago is relevant to current day commentary, according to the film's director. And now we've got Bioware's narrative designer, just going on social media, attacking fans of Bioware, saying the only reason that games like Mass Effect 3 and Dragon Age 2 failed was because of Gamergate. And honestly, this is probably the most depressing news that I've had to talk about in a while, just because Bioware was such a prestigious company in the industry. And even though Mass Effect 3 and Dragon Age 2 failed, and I mean they failed epically, I don't want to see companies like BioWare fail. It's never been something that I've wanted. I mean, let's look at Blizzard. Amazing, fantastic franchises, but bad people running the show. And now, I know that one narrative designer doesn't speak for the whole company, but if one person is thinking it and is willing to talk about it so strongly on social media, it makes you wonder how many other people at BioWare are thinking the same thing. So I wanted to read through this Bounding into Comics article. BioWare narrative director John Epler claims fan disappointment with Mass Effect 3 and Dragon Age 2 was the proto-Gamergater. So BioWare narrative director John Epler has claimed that the negative backlash towards Mass Effect 3 and Dragon Age 2, which mainly stemmed from disappointment with the gameplay and the writing of each respective title, served as the prototype for the Gamergater controversy. It's very interesting to me that they're not blaming their own games for just being bad. They're trying to kind of project onto other people, saying, oh no, it was the people before Gamergate that, made this terrible, that said it was negative and these games were bad, even though it's plain and simple, the games were just bad. The narrative choices were bad, the graphics were bad for their time. Overall, these games, yes, did have good qualities to them, but they were just bad games at the center of it. It wasn't just people looking to be angry about something. So Epler's hyperbolic claim was made in a response to a tweet by none other than Nathan Grayson, in which the Kotaku senior reporter commented on his recent mentioning by an early Gamergate figurehead and gleefully noting how he could remember when all of these guys were crusading about how politics should not taint the sacred space that is gaming, and now they're all Z-tier political pundits. So yeah, the BioWare narrative director is responding to claims in a tweet made by Nathan Grayson. Now, if you don't know who Nathan Grayson is, like it says, he's Kotaku's senior reporter, but he's basically replaced Jason Schreier. But he unfortunately does the same things that Jason Schreier does. He makes claims with no evidence. He digs up certain situations if he doesn't like a group of developers or a group of people like just gamers TM. He is a games journalist that hates gamers, it seems like, but he does all of the same things that Jason Schreier does, which I guess is the only reason why Kotaku can still survive. They're so irrelevant that they have to resort to just kind of making up claims and attacking the very people who they want to read their articles, or else they'd never get clicks anymore. And he goes on to say, if you want to go even further back, it does not escape me how much the situation around Dragon Age 2 and later Mass Effect 3 were the proto-Gamergate. Don't blame these terrible games on anyone but your studio, because that's why these games failed, was because these games were just bad. Graphically, they were outdated for their time. The dialogue options were just bad. You made promises to fans that you didn't even try to keep in the game. I mean, Mass Effect 3 was a pretty top-tier garbage game. It wasn't those damn Gamergaters that made your game garbage, and you just have to admit that. It's almost 7 years after Gamergate. Get over it. Stop looking for another excuse as to why your games failed. I mean, Inquisition did great compared to Dragon Age 2, and Inquisition came out in the middle of Gamergate, so why didn't that game fail? I wonder. Was it those damn damn Gamergaters, it was one bad game that you had in a series, and it's no one's fault that it failed besides your company's, and you need to admit it at this point. As the article continues on to say, however, this framing of the backlash against both titles is, at best, disingenuous. This is so incredibly true. When Dragon Age 2 released in 2011, Bioware received a wave of criticism from fans, with many upset that the studio had simplified the series' dialogue options, replacing the previous system with one more akin to the streamlined and simplistic one featured in the Mass Effect series, blatantly populated the title with reused assets, and set the game entirely within the port of Kirkwall. It says Mass Effect 3 would receive a similarly poor reception when it released a year after Dragon Age 2, as players found themselves cheated and manipulated into believing that their choices would have consequential effects over the course of the sci-fi trilogy, only to discover that the only decision that truly mattered throughout the series was the final choice between 3 different embarrassingly color-coded options. These are why these games failed, not because of those damn Gamergaters. They didn't fail for any reasons besides your own companies not putting in the time, not putting in the effort, promising fans things that you never, ever tried to uphold in these games. That's why these games failed. So as the article goes on to say, as Epler began to receive his own fair share of criticism, which is rightfully deserved in my opinion, with many fans pointing information supporting to the above posts, the Bioware director completely dismissed the fan-given reasons for the pushback and instead insisted, me saying the harassment campaigns around Mass Effect 3 and Dragon Age 2 were bad is not me saying there was nothing wrong with those games. I know angry gamer boy Twitter lacks the ability to recognize nuance, but, you know, maybe try. However, one particular Twitter user took issue with Epler's framing of the situation and responded to his tweet about angry gamer boy Twitter by noting that people were mad because you, once again, you raised Gamergate from its grave to prove a bullshit point and failed. And it's so true, because these people on Twitter, like these game designers, are trying to bring up Gamergate as if it's a good defense in 2020. It's almost 2021. This defense can't be used much longer. How much longer are you going to milk it for? I mean, come the hell on. And because ultimately he knew that he was attacking people on social media, he was attacking fans of his games, he said deleted some tweets because even if someone is a dick, I shouldn't be using my platform to go after them. I agree with this. Even if you do have a platform, even if someone is being a dick, you shouldn't be using that platform to go after someone, attack them, tell them your opinion's wrong, my opinion's right. So he didn't really apologize. He's just trying to cover his own ass, but again, like I've said in the past, I'm okay with people on social media, if they're actors or directors or even game designers, voicing their opinions online, but attacking your fan base is only going to ruin your reputation and make it so that people don't want to buy the products that you're associated with. I've always really liked Bioware as a company, even though they've definitely had their falls and their hurdles that they've had to face, and they've made some bad games in the past. I still really like Bioware, and one narrative designer's opinions aren't going to change the mostly positive view I have of Bioware, but like I said at the beginning, it definitely makes you question what types of people you're supporting when you're purchasing a Bioware product. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Them damn Gamergaters, am I right, guys? But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like and share it, and of course, if you did not, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.